Hey all you cool cats and kittens, it's Carole at Big Cat Rescue, and that beauty way back there is Amanda Tiger. She's flicking her tail to let me know I should just keep on moving, lady. Hello, Luana. The interns have been out here for days, actually, but again today, raking leaves. There are so many leaves everywhere. I swear, I think that's what we spend most of our time doing here, is raking leaves. Obviously, this is not the area where they raked. It's down at the other end. I was happy to see that Brittany had given you guys an update on Gilligan. I know everybody was really worried about him, but he's doing great. So thank you for all of your kind thoughts toward him. And then I have been gone so much and out of pocket, I don't even know who's in vacation rotation. I think it's Max or Simba, but I'm not sure. Does anybody out there know? Hello, everybody. Wisconsin. Ooh, I bet it's cold there. Well, thank you, Lauren. It has been way too long. I'm going to try and get you guys a little bit closer view of him, but he comes right over to the fence. I tried last night, or a couple nights ago. There was a beautiful sunset, and I really wanted to get a picture of it, and he was not letting me get anywhere near the fence line, so my picture was going to have fence in it. I'm so happy with the new time change. It gives me a little bit more time before I have to hit the road and go home. I wonder if he sees us. He's playing with his ball down there. Well, hello from Germany. Hi, Holly Lynn. Everybody here is doing just great. It is absolutely gorgeous weather. Hey, you down there with the ball. You gonna make me walk all the way down there? It's gonna be a long, boring walk for everybody, so I won't be able to show you as soon as I start down that other side there. Hey, Paula and Cynthia, and Adele and Leslie. There he comes. Hey, Noir. Hello, Deb. And Karen. I don't know, is he just totally fuzzy? Can you guys see him at all? I've got this thing zoomed out about as far as it'll go. I really thought he'd come over here as soon as he saw somebody standing at the wire. Unless his eyesight's not that good. Or his hearing, for that matter. 65 in Ohio. I'm thinking it was probably in the 70s here. I don't think it ever got to the 80s, though. I meant he wouldn't let me get up close to the wire like this when I was trying to get a picture of the sunset, because he came running over, and I can't stand this close to the fence when he's focused on me. I don't know if he could get his paws through, but I sure don't want to find out the hard way. In the 40s. Oh, man. Yes, Gilligan's doing fine. My eyes are darting back and forth between keeping an eye on the tiger and keeping an eye on your comments, because he could clear that space between us really, really fast. All the way from Sydney, Australia. Goodness. I was looking at World Animal Protection's new website. They update it with like how all of the different places in the world have different levels of animal protections, and it was an interesting map, to say the least. Didn't get to really study it yet. I just got to glance at it. Has anybody said if this is Simba or Max yet? Hi! Are you coming to say hello? You have some friends down here. You guys might remember, of course he's going to hide his face. A couple weeks ago was the Synapse Summit in Tampa, where there were about 7,300 people, and we took our headsets to show them the 3D videos that we're doing. And I met a guy there. Thank you, Andy, for pointing this guy out to me. Andy Sardone was with me. And this guy had a fabulous display using the Magic Leap glasses where you can see things in augmented reality. So his display made it look like you could just, and I was, standing in the middle of the aisle, if you can imagine, at the Amalie Arena, which is the ice hockey arena, those big aisles for like all of their games that they have. I was standing out in the aisle, blocking traffic, moving the world, because with your hands in augmented reality, you could spin the world any way you wanted to look at it. And then the way the thing was made is you could see, based on different projections, what climate change could do to the world. And so there were, oh dear, I lost the cat. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Oh no. Zoom back a bit. There he is. You know, if things are really bad, this is what it's going to look like. If we do some things to change the way we're currently behaving, it could look a little bit better. And so interacting with that thing was just so amazing. And I asked them what it would cost to build an interactive type experience for us to use to teach people about the plight of big cats. And so we've been working on that for the last 2 weeks, and it's coming along beautifully. We had an update status report today. Howie did a bunch of narration for it, and he's got that beautiful radio voice, so he really makes it sound professional. And we got the storyboard done today. So the storyboard tells us what the story's going to look like from the beginning to the end of the experience. And then they will set to work for the 6 to 8 weeks of creating all of the assets. So creating the tiger and the animals who live where the tiger lives, and creating the forest and all of that kind of stuff to see it in virtual reality. I'm so excited about it. I just can't stand it. Yeah, maybe we'll go see Sapphire. I see Sapphire up on her platform. So if we go in the back way here, we might be able to see her little face. I can't tell which way she's facing. Maybe it won't be her face. Maybe I need to go around the other side to see her face. Shane, we only let one cat out there at a time. So cats are solitary by nature. They don't want to share space. They would rather kill each other than share that space. And so every month, a different big cat gets to have all that space to themselves. And I wasn't here on Thursday, so it's usually on a Thursday that they swap cats out in there. And I didn't see who got to go. And I just don't know those cats well enough, certainly at a distance, to tell them apart. I think we have a total of 56 or 57 exotic cats here, counting the hybrids. And then we also have a funcation area, which is a 22,000 square foot space. And we swap the cats out in there every 2 weeks because we have more small cats than we have big cats. You are beautiful. You're so beautiful. Yes, everybody wants to see how beautiful you are. Here's Sapphire. Nicole Gilligan is doing fine. He had been on the chart before for getting all pukey after being dewormed. We deworm the cats monthly with one type of wormer, and then quarterly with Panicure, which takes care of different kinds of worms. And when he has the Panicure, he often acts all pukey. So I'm hoping that was all that it really was him just not liking the dewormer. We found that he had high calcium levels, but we haven't found a reason for that yet. And from what I heard, he's eating. Susan says it's Max that is in vacation rotation. And she says still in vacation, so I guess maybe they didn't swap out on Thursday. Thank you, Susan. Can you see Jasmine as well? Well, we'll see. We'll head down that way. Just not anxious to leave her while she's still got her head up. Sharon Dower. We've been doing some cage work out here that you would have been good at. You were always good at patching up holes around the trees. There's always that kind of stuff going on here. Max is halfway through his vacation. Good to know. Yeah, thank you for posting that link about cages. If you want to know about our cages, go to bigcatrescue.org/cages. And a lot of people have seen the Netflix trailer for the Tiger King Murder, Mayhem, and Madness that is going to be a 6-part docuseries covering the murder for hire plot and hopefully the wildlife trafficking charges, the 17 wildlife trafficking charges that Joe Exotic was convicted to spend the next 22 years in prison over. A lot of people, reporters, have been calling and asking what I thought of the series, and the series comes out March 20th, so I don't know, I haven't seen it. And then people started contacting Luana and saying, what does Carole think about the series? She's like, what do I tell them? I was like, I don't know, I haven't seen it. But I just wrote up a page, and Howie and Susan helped me edit it. And we are going to be posting that very shortly, that says what I do know about it and what I think about what I do know. But most of what I do know is not much. I'm looking for video resources to use in my classroom that shows animals should not be used for entertainment purposes. Any specific suggestions? Oh, I am sure you have come to the right place, Laura. There will be lots of people giving you lots of suggestions on resources that we can give you for that. The short story is, or the short answer, is that none of these cats will perform because they want to please us. They're not dogs. Dogs will perform to please you. Cats will not. And the only way people can make a big cat do something it doesn't want to do is by scaring it to death when it's a baby, by beating it or shocking it or starving it or doing something horrible to it in order to force the cat to make it look like they're doing the trick. And the thing that makes me the maddest about those kinds of things is they'll force the cat to do something that looks like they love the person, like giving them a kiss or things like that. And that even further misleads the person who's seeing it to think that the cat wants some part of doing that. So absolutely, big cats should never be used in entertainment. I think 22 years in prison might actually be a life sentence for him. It's hard for me to imagine that he would be able to survive prison just because of the fact that he is so narcissistic and gets under people's skin the way he does, that I don't think we have to worry about him walking around free. In the whole history of the sanctuary, we've rescued, I'm thinking, somewhere between 200 and 260 big cats. I don't know exactly how many. We have a memorial wall for all of the cats who have lived here and passed on. And there's a lot of cats that we rescue that don't actually live here. Cats that we have managed to help get to other sanctuaries. There was recently a bobcat in need, and we worked with Linda Sagasa out at Safe Haven in Nevada. She just sent me a photo of the bobcat who has arrived and is doing well. This is Kali Tiger right in mid-yawn. Ooh, I'm staring right into the sun. Witness protection cats that did not stay. No. Every cat who has come to us under witness protection has ended up staying with us. We've had a couple of cats here that the owners didn't want anybody to know who owns them, and they were here temporarily, one for weather when we had a hurricane, and another to help them get the cats back on their feet again because they were not doing well. And those cats went back to their owners. I would have liked for them to stay here, but I didn't have any way to force that. Hello, Chaos. Where's Cyrus? Oh, there he is. Hi. Hi, buddy. We're going to go look at Chaos first. Yeah. Chaos is right behind the post. There she is. How long the cats live is it's different based on different cats. So most of our cats live into their late teens and early 20s. And we had some cougars who recently died at 14. They had come from the wild, and I don't know what their genetics was like before they got here, but 14 seemed awfully young to us, whereas in the wild and in most other places they only lived to be 10 to 12 years old. So 14 was old by that standard, but really young by our standards. We have a couple of cats that are 24, 25. I think there's like a dozen cats right now here that are over 20. What is that noise I hear? Some kind of earth mover? Alright, we're going to come look at you. Is it okay if we look at you? And Cyrus. Back of the ears, Cyrus. Well, that makes me sad when I hear about these places with tiger cubs. Because now, if the cat lives, you're talking about another decade or more that cat's going to be stuck in a cage. A really miserable cage at that in most cases. Well, thank you, Vanessa. They love you, Cyrus. You should see all the hearts you're getting. You're getting so many hearts. For such an aloof cat. Those are some magnificent ears, for sure. Okay. They're gonna ignore us. I bet he loved Brittany and Bridget. Nancy, I haven't heard anything more about Lila that I can tell you. A lot of times I have to keep secret the things that are shared with me until after the cats are safely wherever they're going to be rescued and sent to. And don't take from that she's going to be rescued and sent somewhere. It's always the hope that the cat will go to a much better situation, and there's always years, months, or if not years, of work that goes into making that happen. Well, there's the Nikita. Are you listening to all that noise too? What is that next door? Sounds like earth movers. The flowers are so pretty. They must think it's spring. What do you think, Your Highness? Is it spring? Do you deem it spring? 77 degrees. Could be spring. Hi! Row, row, row. Row, row, row. Oh, she's my girl. Yes, you are. Face full of lion right there. Oh, man. What a very good girl. You're such a good girl. I can't even get all of you in the picture. There's too much of you. You're too big. I gotta step backwards. 56 or 57, I believe. That number changes a lot because of cats coming into and out of rehab. Oh, you can sit on the ball? Let's see that. That'll be funny. That'll be so funny. You're so funny. Can't believe you can still do it, old girl. You still got the moves. Okay, you kicked it out of the way. And managed to hide your face, your beautiful face, right behind the post. And we all love her. You're such a love. Yeah. He did not bring a scratcher. Shame on me. Yoga time, they say. Oh my goodness. You said you played with that ball for 10 minutes? I must have worn you out. You're still worn out, your old whiskers. Shane, we don't touch the cats. That would be rude. They don't want us touching them. Even though she's up here rubbing against the fence. That looks like, hey, pet me. No, that's not what she's saying. She's saying, this is my space. I'm marking it. It's mine. You can sit there with me, but don't you be reaching across this line. This is mine. It's yours, huh? Mm-hmm. It's yours. Oh, yes. Nope, Terry. I would not pet her because that would be rude. It would be dangerous. And it would send such a bad message. We're telling people, don't pet these cats. Don't go out and pay to have your picture made with a cub because it always ends up badly for the animal. And it's causing the extinction of the tiger in the wild. It's not because the tigers are being taken from the wild, but it's because they have to breed so many cubs in order to provide opportunities for people who will ignorantly pay to pet them. And then there's no place for those cats to go. So they end up in the trade for their parts, which stimulates the demand for their parts. And the more you stimulate that demand, the more of these cubs that disappear into it, then the more pressure there is on cats in the wild, because people always want the premium product, the wild cat, not the captive-born inbred cat. And it's a whole lot cheaper to poach a tiger than to raise it for 3 or 4 years to get it up to full size. So it's always going to create more pressure on the cats in the wild by stimulating the demand for them. So we absolutely do not pet them and do not make other people want to go out and pet them, because that's what happens. If somebody sees a picture like that, or they see somebody rolling around with a cub or rolling around with an adult, then they think, oh, that's so cool, I want to do that too. And they don't realize that they're causing abuse for that animal, and they're going to end up with a world that has no big cats in it because of their actions. I see the link. I don't know what the story was because I was talking and not reading, but the Go Free link. And none of these cats who are in cages can go free. These are cats who were bred in the United States for the most part, except for the tigers in Guatemala. And they're not native to America. You can't release a tiger in America, but the tiger was born in America, so you can't release it in India or Russia because it's not a native cat and it doesn't have a pedigree, so you wouldn't know whether there were instinctual things that they would not have in their DNA because of the fact that these people who breed them for zoos and circus acts and all of the horrible things, cub petting, they don't care about the pedigree. They just want the cub. They just want the performer that they can use for a year or so and then discard and get a new one. So none of those cats serve any kind of conservation value, and none of them can go free. So that's why there shouldn't be breeding in captivity. Hi! There's Natalia. She's an Amur leopard. Are you listening to those earth movers too? Mm-hmm. What are they doing over there? Yeah, all of the cats who are really good climbers, state of Florida requires they have a roof so that they don't climb out. Cats who are not good climbers, lions and tigers, they can go in the big open roofed areas. Yes, Natalia does like to spy on Nikita. Nikita does not like the sight of any other cat, and that's why she's back there by herself. She just hates everybody. Every four-footed everybody anyway. She loves people just fine, but she does not... Oh, look, Gilligan is out. She does not like other cats. Did you guys see Afton's video of Manny with that camera today? Oh my goodness. She said it was absolutely amazing. He didn't even scratch the lens for all of that licking and gnawing that he was doing on it. He managed to turn the camera off, but he didn't scratch the lens at all. Well, thank you, Yvonne. Are you nervous about that sound too? Yeah, it just makes us all nervous. Nobody wants to think about buildings going in next door. Yuck. I wish we could buy that land, but it's just so expensive. There's a 10-acre tract right outside our white wall there. That's our perimeter wall. And I'm thinking he wanted something like $7 million for that. And he'll probably get it because people are wanting to build condos out here, and you could spend that much money on a piece of property if you could sell enough condos on it. I have to build cat condos. Big cat condos. I see those ear tufts. I was curious. I don't know if Gilligan has ever been on Funcation before. Funcation is this 22,000 square foot cage. Every 2 weeks, a different cat gets this space. And since Gilligan was in the hospital and he was already in a squeeze cage, we thought, hey, this would be good. We can just take him right out to Funcation when he's done. And he can see and have all this space to himself. You can see those ear tufts all the way back here. Are you loving it? Is it so fun? Diana, I don't know what's going on over there. I should go put the drone up in the air. I'm going to do that. I don't know how much light I got. That would be a good way to see what's happening over there. Okay, that's all we're going to see are ear tufts. Those are some mighty handsome ear tufts, though. They sure are. Well, Tina, I wish you could too. That would save a lot of worrying here. I don't worry too much about the land that's right outside that wall. This wall, the wall where all that construction noise is our west wall. This wall is our north wall, and what's on the other side of the north wall is a swamp. So they would have to get permission from the state of Florida to fill in a swamp, which happens, unfortunately, but it's a whole lot less likely to happen. Oh, looks like we had a limb go down back there. I know people have been concerned about Aries. I saw him earlier on a tour today. I had a couple of people, a biologist from the Florida Wildlife Commission came. She brought us some supplies because the Florida panther and Florida bobcats are suffering from, I forget how to pronounce it, it's like lycoleucolemia or something like that. And it causes like a wasting in their back end to where they can't walk and they can't hunt, and it's just a horrible, horrible way to die. And we've seen it in one of the bobcats that we picked up, and they've seen it in a number of bobcats and Florida panthers. And so since we go out on so many bobcat calls, they brought us some shipping supplies for making sure that if we do pick up a cat that dies, we can get the cat's body off to the state lab as quickly as possible for them to do whatever testing they need to do. Meanwhile, we took samples from Romeo. He had his 6-week checkup, and I think the vet said he needed another 6 weeks in a small confined space because in addition to his pelvis being broken in 6 places, his sacrum was also broken, and so that's why he's kind of, if you guys watch him, he kind of falls over, even though he's doing much, much better. Every day he's doing a lot better. So we took some samples from him for the FWC as well. Hey, pretty Sheena. Yeah, Aries does get an awful lot of attention. He gets so much attention that when I came out, he's like, it's just you. I don't have any treats. What good am I? Is that the Servy? Hey, Servy. You just gonna flop down in that nice green grass? 'Cause it's so soft. It's so wonderful. It's so perfect for having a bath. Oh, here comes Zukari too. Hey, Zukari. I know you're over there somewhere. There you are. Servy's being all chill, and Ginger is just pacing, pacing, pacing. Are they late with your snacks? Is that the problem? Ginger just got a huge upgrade in enclosures. We had a big empty enclosure back behind her that nobody was using, so we just recently joined it by tunnels, and now she's got 2 or 3 times the space she had before. There's Zukari. Oh, he's so handsome. Yes, you are. Yes, if you go to bigcatrescue.org/catbio, you'll find all of our cats grouped by species, and then there will be a link for each one where you can either just play their audio story, or you can go to the link and actually see their photos and their videos and their timelines and their history and everything that we know about them. I'm going to go over here and see Mr. Nabisco. Nabisco and Flint have been having so much fun together that Jamie says she wants to build a tunnel so that we can see about introducing them if they like each other. The way we do something like that is we would put a tunnel, like that tunnel right there, and then it would be covered in a very small mesh so that the cats can't get a foot or an ear or anything else through it to get bit by the other cat, and give them some time to get used to the idea of sniffing each other and playing with each other and sleeping next to each other. Hi, Nabisco. Are my shoes scary? Those are scary? They have spots? They're not coming in there. Hi. Yeah. Oh. Those shoes are so worrisome. So if they sleep next to each other, that's usually a pretty good sign that they trust each other, and then we could open it up and let them have some supervised play dates. We did that with Max and Marianne because they were both young. You have to do it when they're really young, though, because when they get to be older, that can be a whole lot tougher thing to break up if they get into a fight. Yeah, we're going to see you next, Flint. Flint's not afraid of my shoes. Flint's not afraid of anything, are you? No, I'm Crazy Cat. Do you love Nabisco? Is he your best friend? Would you love to play with him all the time? I think you guys might like that. Nabisco used to live with Mrs. Claus, and she would beat the snot out of him when he would have seizures, but nobody's seen him have a seizure in a very long time, so we're thinking maybe he has outgrown that. Sometimes it's just something that happens when they're little, and they do manage to outgrow it. You are breaking the internet now. They call you Floofy, even though you're not so fluffy. Shane, we are always happy to answer any questions people have. Luana is a great mentor, as is Deb and Holly, and I don't even know who all works as mentors here, but there's a bunch of them. I would be happy to talk to you. Yes, when people say 100% of the donation goes to the cats, that's because we do tours here and we sell stuff in our gift shop here at the sanctuary and online. And so the money we raise doing those kinds of things funds all of the salaries and all of the overhead of the sanctuary so that the donations can actually go to the cats instead of salaries. Salaries are usually the most expensive thing whenever you're talking about running a sanctuary. You with your feet out the wire. That's so funny. You're so funny. You know, one of the other questions I've been getting a lot lately, and I don't know if it's because of this documentary that's coming up, because I talked to two different reporters, and both of them asked me the same question, and it came up during the trial. And I've heard a bunch of people here lately asking the same thing. So I got to believe that there is somebody going around saying something about whether or not sanctuaries should be open to visitors. And I think they should be, for a lot of reasons. Oh, I hear you purring. You're purring so loud. I think the main reason that sanctuaries should be open to the public is because it shows you how these cats live. In most places, sanctuaries might see their USDA inspector once a year. If they even have a state inspector, they'll only see them once a year. And then the rest of the time, people never see what's going on behind closed doors except for what that person will allow you to see through photos and videos that they took and they screened before you got to see them. So I think that by being open to the public and letting the public come in here every day and see how we do things is a great way for them to feel comfortable about what it is that we're doing and how our cats are living. I think another reason that it's really important that sanctuaries be open to the public is because it's a huge opportunity to educate people about why these cats don't belong in cages. Nobody is going to get that message, that education at a zoo, because zoos make their money by having animals in cages. So unless you are of a sanctuary mind that believes these cats don't belong in cages in the first place, who is ever going to tell people that they belong in the wild and that we should be protecting them in the wild, not breeding them for lives of deprivation and captivity? Was Flint getting all of the attention, Nabisco? Were you trying to get some more of his attention? You don't care about my attention. What was that? Oh, shake it off, shake it off. There was a serval smell in there, huh? That's who had that cage before you. Jolene, we really think that Romeo has a great chance at going free. And all we're waiting on, oh, you got me. All we're waiting on is to make sure that he can run and jump and hunt the way he needs to. Yeah, I shouldn't turn my back on you. He got me, huh? Would you get me too? I don't mean to imply that all places that are closed to the public are not doing a good job. I'm just saying I think they could do a whole lot better job by being open to the public, because of the fact that they could garner so much more support from people that could see what they do every day of their lives and see how the animals live every day. And because of the education that they could do with those people visiting and coming to understand all of the situations that it's just so hard to teach them online. Oh, Nabisco, you are something. Are you being precious? You're so precious. I think another great reason for sanctuaries to be open is that people want to teach their children about animals, and they currently go to zoos because that's the only way that they know how to do it. And so what we're hoping to do is lead zoos into creating virtual reality and augmented reality experiences that are much more engaging and don't require having exotic animals in cages. But until they do, sanctuaries have animals who can't go free, and they could provide a much better learning experience, because they wouldn't be, no legitimate sanctuary would just let people wander around. So people would be getting a guided tour and getting educated and learning the issues, and hopefully encouraged, like we do at the end of every tour, to get people to actually contact their member of Congress and ask them to support the Big Cat Public Safety Act by making the Call of the Wild, which you can do by texting CATS, the word C-A-T-S. Did I say cats? To 52886, and data and messaging may apply, but that will start a phone call to your representative, and all you have to do is say, please ask your boss to be a co-sponsor of the Big Cat Public Safety Act. And then it'll call your senator, and you just say the same thing. Please ask your boss to be a co-sponsor of the Big Cat Public Safety Act. And that's the only thing that's going to stop the abuse. The Big Cat Public Safety Act stops cub petting, and it phases out private ownership. Doesn't take anybody's cat away from them. They can keep the cats they have. They just can't buy or breed more. You like that plan, huh? Yeah. See, nobody should be in a cage. It's terrible to be in a cage. I saw a shout out to Carolina Tiger Rescue. Yes, they are an accredited sanctuary You can go to Sanctuary, what is it? I can't even think of what the URL is. sanctuaryfederation.org. And that is the Global Federation of Animal Sanctuaries. They accredit all kinds of sanctuaries, horse sanctuaries and chicken sanctuaries and big cat sanctuaries, little cat sanctuaries. Well, not domestic cat, I don't think, but Flint's a little cat. So that's how you can tell the good guys from the bad guys, is finding out who's accredited. And by being accredited, they're allowing a governing body to come in and tell them you need to do things proper to take care of the animals properly. Those who are not accredited don't want anybody telling them how to take proper care of the animals. And they know that they'll only have to deal with their USDA or their state inspectors once a year each, so that's no big imposition on them, especially given the fact that neither tend to cite, even when they see horrible abuses of the Animal Welfare Act. I just can't leave you two. You're just too cute. I got like dueling bobcats going on here. Dueling for cuteness. Hello, Marinko. Are you playing with that Oculus Quest yet? I really look forward to the headsets becoming much more widely adopted. We've been doing everything that we can to get people interested in using the headsets, and even the little cardboard, Google Cardboard, to see our videos that are in 3D and 360 in those Google Cardboard headsets. We gave away hundreds of them to get people using them in the hopes that they will then go out and invest in a Oculus Go or an Oculus Rift in order to see our cats up close. Lauren Buckingham just did a adorable video called Kitten Wrestling, and it's all done in 3D, and you're laying on the floor with those kittens right in your face. I mean, you can just about feel their whiskers on your face. It is so close and so adorable. And it's okay on your phone or on your desktop, but there is nothing like seeing that in the headset and feeling like you're just right there with them. Thank you, Susan. There's just no way to explain to people how amazing those headsets are until they've actually put them on. And when we go to events now, we take them to all of these events, and people are always just like, this is the most exciting thing at the event, and this is the greatest thing we've ever done. And so it's like, I know that this is catching on, and people are going to be demanding more of that, and we will be right there with the content for them. Hi, Pharaoh. I was talking to your mom today. Jamie was saying how much she loves her Pharaoh. Jessica, if you were telling where Nabisco came from, it was from South Dakota. It was a sanctuary that went under. Carolyn, they don't get together yet, but I was saying apparently right before you came on that we're talking about building a tunnel and putting some fine mesh over it so that there's a dividing wall between them, and trying to see if they like each other and if they like each other enough to even sleep next to each other, because that's usually the indicator that they're going to get along okay. And then we'll do some play dates where we watch them to make sure that they don't fight and see if maybe they could be buddies. Aw, thank you. That's so sweet. I haven't done one of these lives in such a long time. I can't tell you how out of shape I am for this. To get this image, I've got to hold this camera out from my body as still as I can, which is failing at miserably, and I'm in a squatting position. And my legs are just like burning. They're on fire. They're like, we're not supposed to be doing this. Cordialine, what is that? Sounds French. I took French, but I don't remember any of it. I can tell you I love you in French. That would be weird. Christine, we were talking about Flint and Nabisco. Yeah, if you guys are not subscribers to our Facebook channel, you might want to do that. It's 99 cents per month, and you get extra videos. So the keepers send Luana special little clips that they take when they're out there keeping cats. When I say keeping cats, I mean cleaning their cages. And sometimes they get some really nice clips of them. And so we share those with the people who are subscribers so that they get something extra for their 99 cents a month. You are right, Noir. Of course you are. You are French. You would know. Pamela, he is beautiful, but unfortunately the only way that white coat occurs is through severe inbreeding. So that was a terrible, terrible thing. I know, Jessica. It has been forever since I have been able to do this. It's hard for me to do during the winter months because it gets dark so fast, and by the time I get through doing everything else I got to do, I run out of daylight before I can bike home. I ride my bike back and forth to work. But now I have an extra hour, although, oh my goodness, I have used up that hour. I have got to quit this. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. I really, really appreciate it, and I have got to hit the road. Man, time just flew with you guys. I love you guys. Good night. Good night, Pharaoh.